some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party. You know what we're repping here, man. America, the center, common sense, and my favorite poppers. All right, so let's dive right into this. As of right now, the title of today's episode is Wheat from the Chaff. Purple Lady, I had some other names. I couldn't think of anything for Brandon because, quite frankly, he's just a joke. You could just say Brandon at this point. Jesus. This guy, man, he just continues the lies. He continues the deceit. But back to the episode title. This is the episode where you have to make a decision. Are you right? Are you left? Or are you purple? Are you in the middle? Because we're now reaching a point where a center party is more vital than ever. I know most of you know what's gone on this week, so you know what I'm alluding to, and we're going to get into it. But this is the time where we need to seriously think about the sides we're choosing and start making wiser choices. So let's kick it off with some bullet points here. Sony is refusing to scrub the Statue of Liberty from the new Spider-Man No Way Home. They're going to lose millions from the Chinese market. And the Chinese don't want to see the Statue of Liberty, so they want it scrubbed. That's the Ministry of Truth kind of crap that we're dealing with right now in this country. You know, we just want to scrub the inconvenient truths. We want to scrub the inconvenient facts off the internet, off Twitter. We want what's government approved. That's what our current regime, our current dictator, Brandon. Adolf Brandon. Yeah, that would have been a good name too. But Sony's not going to cave. And we can't cave either. We've reached a point now where we can no longer sit on the sidelines. Dave Chappelle was attacked. Speaking of lax policies, Dave Chappelle was attacked, and his attacker will face some misdemeanor charges. California loves to do this because if you don't charge somebody with a violent felony, then it doesn't count as a violent felony that happened in your state or your city. Wow, what a concept. It's literally that. That's how they do it. If you don't charge him with a violent felony, then a violent felony wasn't committed. The dude jumped the guy on stage and had a knife. Okay? That seems pretty violent. I would say running on stage and tackling a comedian is violent. And I think there's a very easy way to determine these things. If you scar somebody for life, whether physically or mentally, it's a felony. Everything else could be a misdemeanor. Those are just my thoughts on it. I also want to give some shout-outs. A shout-out to Trevor Noah. I don't really like the guy. But, when he was speaking in front of Biden, he said, hey, things are looking up. Gas is up. Prices are up. And then to close it out, he said, hey, people, be careful when you exit the building tonight. We know how this administration handles evacuations. So I'm glad that at least, some of our voices out there, some of our, celebrity voices are starting to call it like they see it. I don't know. I hope his intention was, hey, I'm fucking sick of this shit. I'm sick of defending you guys, and you're just a fucking train wreck. I hope that's where it came from. You want to punish women for having sex? You want to tell them to keep their legs crossed? What about the men? What about the men? Huh? What about the men? Wow, I don't even know how this happened here. What about the men? What if the man leaves? What if the man can't pay? What if the man won't pay? What if the father, what if the father is a rapist? What if the father is her father? So let's not bring the father into this. We need to look at this with common sense. That's what we need to do. Because if you bring up the Bible, there are a few things that you should know about your precious Bible. And keep in mind, I believe in Christ. I believe in God. I believe in the word of the Bible is the word of God, but it's been perverted by man. But if you're going to use it as your guidebook, you should know the Bible never explicitly approves or disapproves of contraception. You're not allowed to marry a divorced woman. You're not allowed to be divorced. If you divorce, whoever divorces his wife except on grounds of sexual immorality, that makes her an adulteress, and whoever marries a divorced woman commits adultery. That's from Matthew. Boom. Okay, so you got to live with that one. Here's one where if you marry a woman and it turns out she's not a virgin, you should take that woman to her parents' house and the men of her family should stone her to death. Yeah, that's great. We need to stop placating the extremes. Throw them to the other side. Here's the thing about the extremes. You tell the far left or the extreme right, piss off, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to vote for the other side? Do you really think that some of these trans activists are going to switch sides to the Republicans? No. But they're placating the far extremes and they're screwing over everybody in the middle. And that's where a majority of us live, in the middle. Okay, you've heard me bashing on Brandon, but get ready, folks, because this is where I'm putting my ass on the line. This is where I'm putting my flag down on top of a hill and saying I will die for this hill. You know, one thing when we talk about the border is the fact that it's not a racial thing. It's not about keeping brown people out of America. It's not. It's about keeping all illegal aliens out, no matter what the color of your skin is. That's for one thing. But it's also about protecting the immigrant. Where are they going to live? Where are they going to work? They're here illegally. So they're not going to be able to just get like a job working as a bank teller. They're not going to be able to rent an apartment. They're going to have to live somewhere. And this just came out of the Sacramento Bee. 45% of undocumented Californians are going hungry. And now the state is going to have to step in and feed them. We have our own people to feed. We don't need hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of more people to go on the public dole. It's simple. Let's streamline our immigration policy so people can get here, they can get jobs, and they can work. That's fine. Again, remember my Mating Americas. Let's bring jobs to them. Let's bring money to them. This is common sense, folks. And just like that, the 2022 midterms became about abortion. Instead of record high inflation, tyrannical lockdowns, botched, you know what all the problems Biden's had. And this is where I think possibly the Republicans and the Democrats are working together to make sure that there isn't a center party. Because by ramping up the rhetoric on abortion, any person from the left who is joining the right has now gone back to the left. They have alienated the middle. They are trying to make the middle irrelevant. The Republicans accuse the Democrats of trying to erase the middle class, but I think the Republicans and the Democrats are now in cahoots to erase the middle political party, which would be purple. So this is where we have to choose sides. There you go. Look at Brandon there enjoying his ice cream and everything. With all the mess around him. The southern border, Hunter, COVID, inflation, Afghanistan. It's like beating a dead horse now. I mean, Biden is definitely the definition of a dead horse. Is it Titanic sunk in 2022? Sorry, sir, women and children first. I'm trans. I picked that one because it perfectly illustrates my concept of an exploitable situation and how men will use it at the detriment of women. One of the few things that Bronco did this week that I actually liked, the Biden family. I mean, he's got his crack pipe, and Joe's got his sippy cup and his 10%. That's awesome. Buffalo hat wearing Elizabeth Warren leads insurrection against Supreme Court. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. The ultimate power we have is in unity. I chose to end with this one because, like I said at the beginning, the wheat from the chaff, this is where we need to start making decisions. We need to think about something. If you are dissatisfied with the Democrats or you're dissatisfied with the Republicans, maybe we should start considering the question, what happens if everybody in the center defects? What happens if the moderate Democrats and the moderate Republicans leave their party and let's just say they join Purple State? What kind of numbers would we have? Because that's what we need to start looking at. We need to take control of this country. This country does not exist to make a bunch of politicians rich. This country does not exist to be governed by idiots. We were founded by men of principle. They were flawed, but they were geniuses. They knew, look what they've done. They've created a political structure that has lasted for hundreds of years. We were doing good before the insanity crept in. And the insanity crept in because the Democrats and the Republicans both started placating the extremes. They kept the extremes happy, realizing, oh, well, the people in the middle they're not gonna flip-flop their votes. No, you're right, I'm not gonna vote for a fucking Democrat. The Democrats have absolutely ruined any chance of that. But I will vote for a third party. I mean, hell, if I had the money and the means, I would start a third party. This is the hill that I will fight for. I will fight for the purple American hill. I hope my message can start being reached by more people. If you like what I have to say, please let other people know. Let other people know that there are people in the middle. People who don't think that gun control is all about controlling legal guns and also doesn't support outlawing abortion. Think about that. Two of my strongest beliefs are in two separate camps, and I'm sick of it. I want my third camp. I want my purple camp. I want America back, but not the far left's view of America and not the far right's view of America. I want the common person in the middle, the majority, the workers, the people who suffer day in and day out and just keep on going and keep on fighting. Those are the people I want, not the spoiled rich bitches that we have right now. Fuck them all. Let's drive them out of D.C. Copious out.